I was thinking about this chamber that could exist above the chicken coop, and I'm just trying to reduce every bit of labor that has to occur. So you need to be able to walk up with something and dump it there, or pull up with a pickup truck and dump it there. I don't think I can dump sticks in that one, and that's probably why people use chippers and stuff. We could mix in sawdust with it, but sawdust has other uses that are better, and we're really going for very rich dirt here, stuff we can harvest later out of the compost, the chicken coop. If the upper entryway, if this door essentially to this chamber of food and also these little larvae, if there was a way to walk through it and then toss it like with a shovel onto a chain link fence that it would fall down into the chicken coop, then you could easily control how much you harvest out anything that is really full of very fat, almost mature black soldier flies. So some kind of staging area uphill from it. That's to make it easier to scoop it in. I want everything set up so you don't dig things to up. You know, you're not sending material up when you're moving it for those kind of systems. Now, after it's fertilizer, you may be moving it up. But I want to produce out of this system at the bottom of the chicken coop. This is my ideal. Is at the bottom of the chicken coop, I would like to be harvesting also into a truck. So I want there to be a lower spot than it below it and a higher spot than it above it. And we could have a couple kinds of ways of delivering things into it, but the bottom is all about recovering the soil, and that's because that soil's gone downhill for so long. We also dump leaves in there and pine needles, and so that's to keep it clean during the rainy season. And so it's a really nice mix of chicken shit, dirt, and tierra de encino. In fact, tossing tierra de encino into the chicken coop is not a bad idea. If it is slanted, right, and if we've got the borders of it, the kind of walls around it that kind of funnel it into a spot to get harvested, and if it's at the right angle, especially after a certain point, it could go down a steeper angle and even have like a metal door there. So you could scoop it in there and then you could dump it out all at once into either a costal. It'd be nice to have it be able to fill a costal, or a pickup truck, or someone in a pickup truck who's filling a costal. That might be the ideal. If you have that right height, right, and you have this tube coming down that is concentrating all of the best chicken shit coming out of there, then harvesting it right into costals, then even if we're going to use it here in the Bosque, we can then move it to that spot much easier. Of course, if we knew we were going to use it in the Bosque and we knew where we were going to do it and we knew we didn't need a costal, we could just shovel it into the truck and then dump it out of the truck. That's also perfectly acceptable. Yeah, so that's an improvement to the chicken coop using black soldier flies. And we can have in the same stuff other kinds of composting worms, and we could just see what the population ends up being after a while. Whatever the population is of stuff that grows the most is probably the thing we want to grow. So we could just try out types of composting worms, and that's one of the reasons I was thinking about these kind of gutters, you know, that you're dumping the food in and then it kind of channels through these gutters into this into the chicken coop, and we can kind of control what we put in and how, because we're pre-processing it with fungi potentially too. Let's not forget the fungi, and we're pre-processing it with these black soldier flies. We're pre-processing with every kind of composting worm there is, and we could occasionally even, you know, because they're all going to mix together eventually. We'll just have this perfect mix of organisms that just compost the hell out of things. Yeah, it's almost like a competition. We could set up competitions. We could get a new batch of worms in and try them out in a particular lane. Interesting idea. I don't know if you're picturing what I am, but it's like grooves that go towards the chicken coop, and you can just throw shit at the fence and it goes into the chicken coop. Could even bend that in a little bit so it's easier to throw onto it and stuff will fall down through it. You'll see.